Hello friends, so I thought I was going to do a little demonstration on milling targets using my favorite reticule MSR2, and there's probably similar solutions for many other reticules, and yeah. So as you can see here, I have an IPSC target to demonstrate the torso plus head of a target, to be politically correct, and these lines are representative of 1 meter, and the horizontal line is 50 centimeters. So 1 meter is the average distance between of the torso plus head in general. So this would be 400 meters away. And then you turn according to your ballistic table for that. So then you turn your ballistic table for that, and then pew pew. And if it's like this, then it's 800 meters away. And since it's an average, if you come out to this distance, yeah, good luck hitting that shit. What is usually more useful is to say this object is a known distance, like 1 meter, and then you put it here. What I usually do is I put it here. This is a bit smudged. It's much more fine detail in the real reticule. This is from a Schmidt and Bender manual. So yeah, so each of these lines, the really badly drawn ones here, are better in real life. That's what I use. So say this is a meter, so then you have 1 mil, and it goes up to, let's just make it accurate like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1.7 mils. And then you use something like this, like I do. So you put the size of the target on the top, and then this one turns into the mil, and in this window here you see the distance. So it's 100 centimeters, and I think I set it to 1.7, and then I get it to 590 meters, and that is more accurate. So if you have a known size of a target, then you can get the distance to it. And then you turn to that, which would be like 4 mils usually, like here, and then you do the pew pew. So usually if you shoot like this, you turn the turrets. But if it's really long away, then you can turn to a 10 mil and then hold for wind here, because you have the horizontal lines here. Because if it's shorter, like 300 meters, then you're approximately around here, then you can do holdovers here. These little plus signs is for shooting canted, so if you turn the rifle on the side, then your 0 will shift to one of these points, depending on how you tilt the rifle. So there's a bunch of shit to know about this reticule that's really good. And these lines are 0.1 mils, which makes you can do really fine adjustments. Yeah, this is a very good reticule, and 700 meters. So it starts at 400, because up to like 300 meters you really don't need that much of a holdover. So if you aimed straight at the A box, you would hit this target around here if it was 300 meters. But if you know it's a bit far off, then you just hold up a little bit, and then you'll hit in the middle anyway. So it's not a big deal. But at 400, you might start to hit around here, and then you start missing. So then you need to do the holdovers, and then you know what you hold. Turn the turret or whatever. Okay, let's show in a silly video game how this usually works in practice. Okay, so sniper on a rooftop, right? Skylining, super tactical. But anyway, let's have a look. So the reticule has a designation for 10 mils. So each line is a mil, which means it's not really that accurate. But it seems like the shoulder width is about 2 mils. And the shoulder width is usually around 50 centimeters. So let's see what kind of distance that will give us. That will give us about 200, yeah, about 255, but I'm gonna guess that looks like it's a little bit less than 2 mils, like 1.7 or something, or 1.8, something like that, and that would give us about 280 meters. Yeah, so about 1.8 mil. That's kind of what it looks like for me. So let's take out the rangefinder and see what it actually is. 283 meters. So apparently milling works in this game. So let's try this in practice. Come on, and put on the bipod. There we go, ready to go. So this is 0 for 300 meters, so it should hit not at the point of aim, but let's try it. Boop. So a little bit low. A little bit low. Okay, so if you, this is a bit further distance, so about groin area there, and yeah, it's almost 2 mils. I would say around 1.8. So let's have a look at this and see what 1.8 at 1 meter will tell us. So that tells us like 570, 560, 570 thereabouts. Oh, approximately there. So let's check this with the binoculars, with the LISA rangefinder. Yeah, 573. So let's set. So now I see you can only zero in this game to 100 meters in 100 meter increments. So I set it to 600. I'm not sure if this has windage. We shall see if I had to do holdover for windage. But it's set to 600, so it should hit a little bit low. Or it didn't. I hit him. So apparently it hit pretty much straight on. I aimed too high first shot. Okay, so I thought I was going to show you a little bit more on this. So outer circle is size of target in centimeters. Inner circle is what you measure it to in milliradians. So if a torso plus head is 100 mils and you measure it to 0.8, like I did in the game, you can see here 100 mils, 0.8, like that. Then you have the window where it shows the distance in meters. So 560 whatever I got. So 1.8 is 570, 80, around that. So that is never going to be super accurate when you measure that, because with average sizes like a human body, that's all never going to be precise. But if you have a little notebook of different sizes, for example road signs or whatever, or a window size or whatever, then you can do that. And usually you don't have to hit an object this large. Even in most competitions where I use this, we have exact sizes, so it helps with measuring stuff. So let's see if I have that piece of paper with me. So this is what I use at competitions. So here I have the sizes in width and height of the different targets we use at competitions. I just put a piece of masking tape on the side where I write the distances to and to the different targets at the different stations, and I've highlighted the size that's the easiest to measure, etc. So that's how I get ready for competitions using this method. And it works fine. It's super fun to mill targets. And at those competitions, I'm not allowed to use any electronic devices at all. No weather stations, no laser rangefinders, no ballistic apps on your phone or Kestrel or whatever. No electronics at all. So I take out the table the night before with a weather report for the next day and have an average of that. So I might know that, well, the pressure is going to be higher during the day when it's warm, or whatever it is. So I take that into account. At least at the really long distances, past a kilometer, that's making a difference that could lead to a miss of the target. And at these competitions, it's usually you're not able to spot your splashes or misses. They just disappear. And if you're lucky, you can see the trace of the bullet. But at those distances, there is a risk the bullet goes subsonic and any trace will not be visible. So yeah, there's a lot to it. And at most practical distances, this is applicable for hunting as well, where you can have your laser rangefinder, so you know your holdovers and all that good stuff. So it's something to be good at practicing at. Well, for hunting, it's perhaps 300 meters is the furthest distance, I guess, depending on how crazy you are. But in Sweden, at least. But yeah, it's fun. It's a good knowledge to have, and go out and have fun with that. Practice with a scope, with a reticule and targets of different sizes, and see if you can measure the distance to it. Okay, have a nice day.